Hi, I'm Anton from Anton's Mindstorms, and in this video I want to review a non-Lego kit. It's this kit, the Neza Pro Sports Kit, and I think in Chinese that would be pronounced as Nezha,
哪吒，
but my Chinese sucks.
哪吒，
At least it's a very hard name to remember and to pronounce, but I believe it is some kind of deity that you would pray to if you want your kids to grow up respectful and healthy, and beautiful, of course. And so let's have a look at what this kit is about and what's inside. I understood that this kit is a robotics competition kit, so it seems to be aimed at doing WRO competition or RoboCup competitions, and it competes with Spike Prime in that regard. However, this seems to be a lot cheaper. I think this goes $270 while Spike Prime goes about $400. So let's see if there is just as much value inside. Or maybe let's start with the outside. So the box here is a bit smaller than the Spike Prime box, and it doesn't look as sturdy. The plastic is like thinner, it looks like, and the box for me, after I built a few models, I couldn't put everything inside anymore. For instance, there is also a huge playmat included, and that one couldn't fit back inside with everything unpacked, so I just unfolded the playmat and put it somewhere else for storage. Good. Inside the box there is a card with all the parts. I think there is more plastic parts in this one than in the Spike Prime kit. There is like a protector mat that ensures that all the parts stay in place if you shake the box once it's closed, and there is a lot of Lego bricks, as you can also see in the unboxing. Let's unpack the box a little further and see what's inside. Here are the wires. I think they are RJ12 or RG11 something. They are like the old school phone cables. Then I got the version with the included Microbit. It's a Microbit second version. I don't even remember what the difference is with the first version, but I believe the second one is more powerful. And then in this cardboard box there is the hub. You could it's not really a hub, it's more like a battery box and breakout, because all of the logic is in the Microbit. What's nice about this hub is that it has of course these 12 ports, 8 sensor ports, 4 I2C ports, and 4 regular breakout pins, of which 2 are analog. And what's also nice is that this one you can charge it with USB-C, so that's quite modern. However, the Microbit still uses micro USB, so you need 2 cables, but both of these cables are included. The hub comes charged and you can start playing with it right away. So these are the cables. There is no charger included, because that's like standard. As when you buy a mobile phone, everybody has USB-A chargers, and you can use this one to charge the hub and the other one to program the Microbit. My computer doesn't have USB-A anymore, only USB-C. So I'm plugging this into a wall socket there in the back to get it charged when I start playing. There is more foam balls for sports. I believe there is a basketball demo in one of the models, and then here there is 4 of these motors included, and we will look at the motors a bit later. However, the first thing I felt when I unpacked the motor was the amount of play in the gearbox, and these motors are pretty tight, so that made me really curious as to see what the real motor performance was. Let's speed up the unpacking of the other motors a bit. Then there is these soccer balls. They have a steel ball inside, and you can push them around with a robot. They look interesting. It's also nice that there is multiple colors. There is a rubber bands, lots of them, and then here is a bunch of sensors to unpack. So I was really curious what this was. This seems to be a NeoPixel RGB LED. Think about 8 of them in a circle. There is a red dot on the sensor port, so it uses one of the red ports. This is an ultrasonic distance sensor, also with a red surface on the port, so it goes into one of the red ports on the right. And then here is, I think, my favorite sensor, the line following sensor, and with 4 color sensors and a blue surface on the port, so this is an I2C sensor. Then we have a regular color sensor that is very much like the Lego sensor. It looks like it has lighting LEDs. I didn't really test that. Then 2 ordinary buttons, also with a red surface on top of the port. Then in this package we have some kind of I think they call it a collision sensor. It's a bit like a button that is easy to press, and you can roll it against surfaces to detect if the robot has collided with something. And then finally there is a display. It's not really a sensor, but this display is a black and white, I think an OLED display, and you can use it to write little text and get some feedback as to what your robot is doing. Then there is a little booklet. The booklet contains building instructions for a weightlifting robot, and you can build it and use it without the Microbit. Below that there is the huge playmat. So it comes folded. However, if you leave it unfolded for a while, the folds go away and it becomes very flat. It's some kind of vinyl material. I personally don't like all the blue, the design, but yeah, but I'm not sure how handy it is to practice robotics competition, and I didn't see any included activities that use the playmat. So next there is lots of plastic inside, and some red tape. That's probably going to be, you can probably color detect this tape. It's a bit sticky. I guess it's some kind of removable tape that you can put on the floor without damaging the floor. I didn't really try it, but it looks interesting. I was at this point in time way more curious for the Lego parts and getting started with building the first robot. There is a lot of plastic bags included here, and it all ends up as quite a large pile of bricks. I can't call them like the Danish company because they are very, very accurate copies of the original, and all the parts have very similar colors and very similar shapes. So all of it seems to be accurate copies of the original Danish style building bricks. Little axles there, and axle connectors. I'm not sure. So the colors, they look nice into a robot. However, since the colors are very similar, it makes it sometimes hard to follow building instructions. So this, again, I think this is aimed at more advanced teams who don't necessarily follow building instructions, but just want to play around and design a robot for themselves. You can see here, this is a very similar part again, and on the beams you can see that there is these alternating triangles, which make it different from the Danish original. The injection molding quality is very nice. The plastic is shiny, no sink marks, no flanges. The color is very deep and consistent. So all in all, this is really nice work. At least the ABS parts are. The rubber parts seem to be a little too shiny and too sticky, but we'll get to them later. For sure, there is a lot of plastic in there. These are some gray frame parts. What I like, so these are typical rack gears and more axles. I'm not sure this part, I've never seen this part before, but it seems to be handy. Oh yeah, let's just check the hub. It seems to be fully charged by now, before we go on with more inspecting of parts. I also haven't seen much of these parts. It seems to be quite unique. And then I think this bag is full of wheels. Yes, it is. There is 2 large wheels and 4 medium wheels in the kit, and then I think 2 thin wheels. Again, these large wheels seem exact copy of the Danish original, and the rubber is a bit shinier though. And then here finally there is a bag of small pins to complete all of the Lego parts. Let's have a look at the included building instructions and models now. I built a motorcycle here, which is one of the included projects. I believe there is about 20, and this is the last one. As you can see right here, the Nezha hub itself is more like a breakout board for a microbit. So the actual logic and programming happens here on the microbit. And the hub has way more ports than Spike Prime. So there is 12 ports in it, 8 sensor ports and 4 motor ports. So maybe there is more possibilities here. However, I think the included models are not as much fun as the Spike Prime models. For instance, this motorcycle model, I built it. It was a bit hard to build, and some of the steps were very hard for kids to follow. And also, if you try to drive this one, because of the construction, it's very unstable, and the motorcycle just topples over, so the steering is quite useless. As soon as you turn the steer, the whole thing falls over. So this is not the best model. I wish the model designers would have been a bit more creative, and they would have play tested all the building instructions. That being said, I built also a model myself, and the model that I built was a line follower model. I built a line follower model because the Nezha kit has a very nifty line following sensor here, which has 4 sensors in a row, and so it can go, of course, quite a lot and still retrieve the line. And also this sensor can be calibrated, so there is a little button here you can press to calibrate the sensor, and then you can calibrate it for different undergrounds and different lighting conditions, which is very neat. This is the final part of the calibration process, where you go over the black line and then it shows that it really works. And I finished by inserting the microbit with a program on it, and there it goes, start to follow the line. I think the performance is solid, maybe a bit shaky, but quite fast for a competition robot. Finally, we come to the motors. The form factor of the motors is very similar to Spike Prime. You can see they are exactly the same size. However, you can see that the Spike Prime motor has way much more play. So the gearbox is way less precise, while the Nezha motors are very tight. The gears are very tight here. And on paper, I didn't test it. On paper, the Nezha motors are also much stronger. So this small motor is already stronger than the large Spike Prime motor. This might come in handy in some competition. I think this one is rated at stopping torque 29 Newton meters, and the Spike Prime large motor at 25 and the Spike Prime small motor at 18. So this is theoretically a lot stronger. Could come in handy. So Microbit is a mature coding platform. The website is very good, and the blocks are easy to use. The default Microbit blocks convert to JavaScript. I don't like JavaScript so much, but luckily there is also Python microblocks. However, I couldn't find a Python API for this particular brick here, or this particular Microbit breakout board. So if you program the Neza, however you pronounce it, with blocks, you can download an extension, and it shows all the sensors included in the kit here. If you program it in Python, I think you have vanilla Python, and you're on your own to figure out how to turn on a motor and how to read a sensor. To conclude, I think the hardware inside the kit is pretty interesting, very powerful, lots of sensors, lots of options, well-designed motors. However, I think the included activities and models to build and educational material is kind of poor. So this could be great if you're a robotics teacher and your students are quite advanced, and they can find out by themselves how to do this. Or you as a teacher, you're ready to invest time in figuring out how this works, because the manual is not quite clear. But I guess if you take the effort, this could be a very interesting competition kit. Me myself, I don't think I will use it because I have a lot of original Lego and I don't want to mix my Lego with this. I'm a bit of a purist, so I'll stick to Lego. But I was very impressed by the quality of the plastic and the quality of the motors and the quality of the sensors in this kit. Well, thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye.